Think about the phone in your pocket. It was probably designed somewhere like California, built with parts from South Korea, and then put together in China before it ever got to you. It's all part of this huge, interconnected global economy. But a system this massive and complex, it doesn't just run itself. It needs a rulebook.
So, who's the referee in this giant global game? Who makes sure that the billions and billions of dollars in goods and services that cross borders every single day are traded fairly? It's a huge job, and the answer is actually pretty fascinating.
It turns out there's one single central organization that's designed to manage this entire incredibly complex web of global commerce. So let's pull back the curtain and take a look at what it's all about.
We're talking, of course, about the World Trade Organization. You've probably heard it called the WTO. So let's start with the absolute basics. What even is this powerful organization, and what does it actually do?
Okay, the key word here is only. The WTO is the single global body where countries come together to negotiate trade deals and, this is so important, settle their disputes. You can think of it as the world's commercial courthouse and its negotiating table all rolled into one.
But the WTO didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It actually grew out of an older agreement from way back in 1948 called GATT. That's the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. By 1995, though, global trade had gotten so complicated that they needed a more formal, more powerful organization. And so, on January 1st of that year, the WTO was officially born.
All right, so we get the basic idea, but let's get down to the brass tacks, Who's actually in this club? Where do they all meet? And how does the whole thing even run?
Well, for starters, the WTO is huge. It has 164 member nations, which together represents something like 98% of all world trade. It is truly a global organization. And here's a fun fact. India is a founder member, which means it's been part of this whole system right from the very beginning.
And where's the main headquarters? It's in Geneva, Switzerland. And that's no accident. Geneva has long been a neutral hub for international diplomacy, making it the perfect spot for an organization that's all about negotiation.
So how's it run? Well, you can basically think of it as a two-level system. All the big, major decisions get made at the ministerial conference, which brings all the members together every couple of years. But the day-to-day stuff, the constant work of monitoring trade and sorting out problems, that's all handled by the General Council, right there in Geneva.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the who, the where, and the how. But that really brings us to the most important question of all. Why? What's the ultimate goal of all these rules and all these meetings? Let's take a look at the 6 core goals that really drive the WTO.
So yeah, what's the grand mission here? The WTO has 6 main objectives, and we can really group them into 2 big categories: goals for people and goals for the planet and the global economy.
First and foremost, it's about us, people. The top goals are to raise standards of living and to ensure full employment. The whole thing is built on this core belief that when trade flows smoothly and predictably, it creates jobs, it drives economic growth, and ultimately, it helps lift people out of poverty.
Now, of course, to do all that for people, the WTO also wants to expand the production and trade of goods and services. But, and this is a really crucial balancing act, it's not about growth at any cost. The official objectives specifically call for the optimum use of the world's resources and the need to achieve sustainable development.
So let's zoom out for a second. We've looked at the history, the structure, and these really ambitious goals. So what does it all add up to? In the end, why does the WTO really matter? When you boil it all down, the vision is to help create a global economy that is prosperous, that is fair, and that is sustainable. So from the phone in your pocket to the food on your table, the goal is to make sure that global trade lifts people up, gives everyone a fair shot, and protects our planet for the future. That's the big, ambitious idea behind it all.
And all of this leaves us with one final and really important question. As our world faces brand new challenges, we're talking climate change, digital trade, global pandemics, the rules have to evolve, right? So the great challenge for the WTO now is how it can adapt its playbook for a world that is changing faster than ever before.